Okay, so I'm making these videos about, well, when people accuse everybody, or they're, these true crimes to be used for hypothetical fictional stories, and true crime, it's just different ones, but that's the one that's coming to mind. Some of them are about different things, like just people disappearing. Well, that would be part of true crime, right? Missing people, or they're not really thought of as missing yet. Anyway, but one of the things that was on my mind was how some people, in everything I say, it's usually some, unless I say for certain it is not some, it is all. If I have to say it is all, I will do. But sometimes, we say all of those, we don't mean all of them. Okay. But, I will make it stress. But anyway, not everybody does the same thing, and it's never all, everybody. I'm not a kind of person who thinks in those terms. So, anyway, I was thinking about the people who will accuse, or basically they'll accuse somebody of something when it's really just something that they're making up in their mind. Like in the form of conspiracy. Some of them is they just think that they know all there is to know about human behavior, and because they see it that way, they believe it's true. That's not true. I've done videos on different channels about just because you think it doesn't make it so, doesn't make it fact just because you think so, or you think that things are supposed to go that way. I've been doing them for years. My original channel, over 7.5 years. So anyway, but when they accuse someone, a person who's not done anything to them, has not spoken to them, maybe sometimes it's somebody who they've actually spoken to briefly, not somebody they would call their friend, not somebody they would call their their personal enemy that maybe they've known in person, not just online, not just what a person might want them to see and not want them to see, but it could be somebody online, but they've done something personally to the person. Now that's not what they're doing. They're judging people who they have not done any of that. They don't know that person. They're just seeing what is online, or what other people speculate, what other people say, what other people form as a conspiracy, what they themselves think, from what little they know, they've seen, they've come up with. And sometimes it can be people who actually have met them or know something about them, looked them up online, or maybe even gone to their area, talked to other people about them, and they're passing judgments on what they believe is truth. They don't know it's fact. Of course, if you look up something on some kind of record, I'm not talking about that you can see as fact. It's just what they create in their mind as fact, is what I'm talking about. They create it in their own mind. They believe that they have all the evidence they need to pass this judgment. Now, people who pass judgments like that, in that sense, and call themselves Christians, it kind of makes me go, okay, I'm not going to judge another Christian, but it still is, Anyway, but you see what I'm saying? Somebody who's just coming up with stuff, drawing their own conclusions, and believe that they know better than everybody else, and they have it down pat. Or they might have a group of people that believe the same way, so they just follow the herd, or they try to be the leader of the herd, or they think they're one of the herd, or they think that they're one of the leaders, something. It's all just what's in their brain, what they want to believe, and they will cast that person as what they deserve as a punishment, what they deserve. They're judge and jury, and executioner. They want to be, You know, they just, oh my goodness, it's just, wow. Wow. Why does someone think of themselves as at such a place in life when they're not any form of law enforcement at all? Any, from judges onward, on down, I guess you'd say, because it wouldn't judge be, you know, the top. Oh, well, there's a few judges above them, but top judge, they think they're the top, and they know exactly what it's supposed to be. Now, there's that. Well, but what about people who have done something to us? You have actually, whether it's online or in person or both, they've actually done something to us. That's different. It's very different. You know? And so we've had to deal somehow with that person, their behaviors, their poor behaviors toward ourselves and or others. Now, we've seen the pattern. There's a difference. Now, if we just see somebody online, they've not done anything to us. Maybe well, you can say they just disagreed. Now, just disagreeing with somebody, I draw a line and say that's not, you just agree to, they want to agree to disagree. They just don't see it your way. They see it a different way. Some people will take that and they become so angry of how dare anybody question their authority. How dare anybody say anything opposite than what they believe. Some people are that adamant about they or their side is right and everybody else is wrong. And they got that really hard, solid, concrete view of everything. And anybody else is an enemy. You know? I had to express it because some of them get rather histrionic with it. You know, or narcissistic, histrionic, blend. And blend is what I've seen most of my life. Narcissistic, histrionic behaviors and others. Seen it, since my whole life. I was born into it. Just seeing it. Oh my goodness, you wouldn't believe. I've done videos on that for another channel that I focused on that for around 7 years. This month is 7 years. It might be today. In fact, it could be. Yeah. For 7 years, toxic people. Well, that's when I made that channel, or maybe that's when I started making those videos on that channel. Yeah, 7 years. Wow. Anyway. Okay. Now there are several different ways avenues we could travel down with this. Such as, now say the person has not done anything to, say they've not done anything to me. Okay. But say I am actually a voice of authority on a topic. Okay, say I taught that topic, or I worked with that topic, with whatever it is for many years, and what I see, like think of a professor, or somebody teaches college, university, whatever it is. Think of them. And they're the ones who are grading people's papers. They do the class, they do the lectures, they give the test, they know the answers, all this stuff. And somebody's telling them that has not done any of that, has not at all done any of that. And they say, I know better than you. They tell me, it's me, and they're saying, I know better than you. Really now? You've not even walked into a university, yet you know better than what a professor or whoever it is who's teaching it. Are you going to go to your, say it's not even a professor, say it's a teacher. The professor is different. But you go to your kids' or grandkids' school and, math teacher, and tell the math teacher, why 2 + 2 does not equal 4. You know why it equals 17. And you haven't taken a math class since high school. But there are some people who have this kind of nerve. Okay, so say you see this online, people, in the field you are whatever it is you are that you've done for many years, you know it. It doesn't have to be a professor, it doesn't have to be, you might have a certification, or you might have worked in that field, say you are in law enforcement, or say, well, now some people in any field can be wrong on something, but overall, pretty much not so. It just depends. Now, if they are the type to think, okay, they know something more than somebody on the outside when they don't, like if somebody's a cook, a chef, but they're not ones who make this thing. Like say a pastry chef thinks they know how to be a chef, and they've never trained to be a chef for a restaurant, making Cajun food, something different, okay, than they've ever made before. The arrogance of them to say that they know better than that chef, that Cajun chef, just because they think so. That's what it comes down to a lot, is that just because they think so, or just because they think they, or in some of these, they think that they can use it to make money, and they can just con people into believing that they really know what they're talking about. Okay, con people into believing that they know better than this professional, this expert, this voice of authority, this certified person, this licensed person, this, on and on, I mean, how many people have heard jokes about people who are plumbers? I mean, people who think that they know better than the plumber, and then they wind up having to call another plumber. Haven't we heard this, seen this, on and on. And sometimes anybody, the plumber, anybody can be wrong, but not all the time. They wouldn't be able to keep that job if they were. Okay? People make mistakes, no matter who. They make mistakes, they're wrong at times, they can admit to it. The people who can't seem to admit to it too often, not all of them, and not everybody, remember, one size doesn't fit all, but tend to be the people who are making the crap up. They're faking it. They think they're going to make it, and they never make it. They just fake it. Somebody just walked by, so, Adam, actually, he just looked at me. I'm in my SUV. He knows I do this. I've been doing this for years. So, anyway, sitting out front making videos, by the way. So anyway, so people that, that they are faking it. They are fakes, or they just believe that it's very correct. Everybody has a right to opinion, at least in this country. Everybody has a right to an opinion. That doesn't make what they say truth just because they have the opinion. Okay? And there's some things people shouldn't say because, they might be inflammatory, or they may be, there's so many different consequences to it. I can't think of them all, but there's some, I'm getting distracted. There are kids going up and down the road. And of course, been driving 40 plus years, I'm going to see something in my rearview mirrors and I'm going to look up. So, real life happens in the middle. Okay, so, more distractions later. Now, I've seen things online, like I said, I was talking about, that I'm a voice of authority in that particular area. Okay, I am. And what they were saying was like, where did you learn that? I was shocked. I was like, is there anybody fact-checking them? Is there any kind of program to say, okay, no, we don't want people to put out misinformation like that? Is there some kind of, it was new, something new to me. It was actually YouTube. Okay, little girl, got distracted again. But yeah, when I first started, I was like, what? What are these people saying? Who taught them? Where did they learn that? And as time went by, I got so disgusted by it, and really disgusted by what I saw. And it wasn't everybody. It was probably, hopefully, maybe, I don't know. I stopped watching from that area pretty much, that community or that genre, however you want to see it. And no, it was too much, and it was just what I saw some. So I can't say everybody does it. I can't say the majority of them do it. I can't say any of that. Okay. But what I did see, I was disgusted by it. I actually saw something, yeah, just disgusted. And I don't know if that person is still around or those people. I don't know. But anyway, so that, even though it wasn't done to me, it was done to where it could harm people, you know, in that sense. Now, some people, they will take that and they will stretch it as far as they can until it almost breaks to fit their own narrative. And yeah, if they even hear me, many people, hardly anybody watches my channels. Yeah, I do these stories and all that, but some of them I haven't used in a long time, and I hardly ever use as it is. I really do. The AI hates me, so yeah. I write stories, fiction, and it's not because of that, but because I'm seldom ever use the channel, and can't build up much if you do that. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, and I am not one. But there's another thing, you know, like I've heard some of them say, well, if you do it, you know, experts that say if you do, or so-called experts, gurus, let's call them gurus. So if you do this and you do that, then this will happen. And no, it does not. One size doesn't always fit all. It doesn't always do. And then I've heard more recently, people are calling them on it. They say, well, it doesn't work for everybody. But some of them will say, well, it's actually your fault. They'll turn it around. You see what I'm saying? Right? I mean, there's so many different things, really, that when people decide that they have some, you know, it could just be that this is their view and they want to get it out. But when they speak about a person in such a way, like that some might see defamation of character or slander and all that, but they speak in such that they are determined they are right and that's it, and this person should be practically damned, you know, by them, and that's all that there is to it. And I'm going, Christian, what? Some of them don't even say that, but some do. Some actually do. And then they seem to get a thrill. A thrill. I mean, seriously, you can see it. A thrill. And get so happy and giddy and woo, woo, yay, yay. When something bad happens to somebody that they don't like. You know, somebody they have already done that to. Just because they don't like something about them. Sometimes it's people doing the weight shaming. I don't like the other term people use. That's bad enough as it is already when people say that. But yeah, you see what I'm saying? They've already determined what this person deserves. Who are you to decide what people deserve in life, really? Man. And the kids are having so much fun. It just takes me back. You know, when I had my bicycles and I'm going up and down the road. We didn't have helmets, though. Didn't have knee pads. No, I hurt my knees plenty of times. Not my head, but my knees. And I still do to this day. Yeah. Hurt my knee early February 2020. Fell, I think there was more going on with me, you know, what going on in early 2020. And, I'm pretty sure. And I just suddenly, maybe I fainted. Not really fainted. I went to the left. It just kind of tipped over to the left with all my weight. Went bam on a hardwood floor right on the knee. And I heard something go crack. Okay, it was early 2020. I didn't, yeah. For like 2 weeks of it, I was pretty much out of it. And like I said, I think something else was going on. And anyway, I'm just going all over the place because those kids they're so fun to see, you know, somebody enjoying themselves, but it's also in my rearview mirror, so I keep having to look up and get distracted. And there's a wasp right in front of my SUV on a shrub, so something behind me distracting me, something in front of me distracting me. Anyway, hopefully that wasp doesn't get me when I go in. But anyway, yeah, you know, it's people who just, what is this about so many people just wanting to pass judgment? You know, and of course people can turn around on me and say, I'm passing judgment on people who are passing judgment. Think about what is the purpose? What is the purpose is what's most important in these kinds of things. In my opinion, by the way, I'm a social and behavioral scientist, taught at college and university, so yeah. Okay. What is their purpose? What's their reason for saying and doing what they're saying and doing? What is behind it? What are they a voice of authority? What do they have to back it up? On and on like this. And why? How? All these. And then some. Why? What is mine? Because, I'm not going to say what is mine. Actually, I'm not. And I'm way too distracted and I need to go in. So I need to wrap this up. It's probably pretty long as it is. But, yeah, I need to go in. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. But I have more to say on this, and we'll see when I get to it. I'll talk to you on another video. And by the way, like I said, I'm going to be writing. I'm not going to be. I have been using some of these videos. I haven't made all of them public for this hypothetical fictional series that I'm writing. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.